Our hope and prayer for this podcast is that our content will meet you right where you are and leave a spark that only God can fan based on His Word. We will give credit where credit is due when we remember. Most of our content is based on our life experiences and training, not to be substituted for the Word of God in your life.
Welcome to the Connected Heart Podcast. We are two Christian women
Here to laugh, have some fun, and engage in authentic conversations that lean into the power of connecting with God.
because thinking about God and thinking with God are not the same things. Welcome to the Connected Heart Podcast. Sandi and I are thrilled you're here, and we are super excited today because this is the start of season 2.
2025.
I love it. I love it. We're very proud of ourselves that we got 10 whole episodes in for 2024, which was our goal.
Yes.
Right.
And if you've listened to all 10 episodes, we are also really proud of you and excited for you.
And very thankful for you. Very, very thankful for you. So we are kicking off season 2 with a class that we're going to have an in-person and online class, living your identity. So last season we had our class, and so many of our episodes were pointed towards identity.
Absolutely.
And so we are excited to continue those. And we have some subjects and information on that we'd love to give everybody, and give a little recap of what we did in season 1 and how it's feeding into season 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to make sure that everybody understands if you are anywhere in the world that gets World Wide Web.
We're global.
We're global. But you're invited to sign up for the online class. That's
Absolutely
one of the reasons we've done it.
Yes.
And I had the joy of having my niece and great niece join us from Iowa last time.
Yep.
And then she even had another friend from her church come and join us and make that Iowa-Texas connection, which my family, my husband now says that we have joint citizenship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dual citizenship with Iowa and Texas.
Okay,
so
there you
it's
go.
All
and so anybody is welcome to join us, either in person or online. You don't have to. I've had people ask me, "Do we have to go to your church?" And I said, "Absolutely not.
No.
Anyone is welcome." Anyone? Did I say that?
You said anyone, but I do like that.
Okay, we say we edit this stuff out. I have no idea. So
no,
just
we're
whatever.
not editing it out.
Okay.
It's too cute. I like that word, and I'm going to keep it.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty.
So,
we're moving on.
Hey, how about your morning walk?
Okay, morning walk. Well, here we are at the beginning of 2025.
Yes.
And what do most of us do?
Exercise.
Right. We want
for January.
Yes, we're going to exercise for January. Well, it was even for Texas, it was getting a little chilly and dark in the mornings. So
True.
I had to come up with a new plan.
Okay.
And so I joined this gym that you do your exercises in the heat. Right.
On purpose?
Yes, on purpose.
Okay.
And of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, good, I'm going to sweat it all out. This is going to be great. Well, it just seemed that I went ahead and sweated out all of my energy because I had to come home, take a shower, and go to bed.
What?
I know.
Like you went in the morning?
Yeah, I went in the morning.
And then you came home.
I had to take a nap because I was so wiped out. So I thought I'll do it a little later in the afternoon, which I don't really like. And so my husband gets home and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "I think I have to go to bed. I just went." He goes, "Do you go to the gym again?" I go, "Yeah." And I said, I am going to be in bed by 7. So I got to figure this out. This isn't working out real well. So, I know 2025 is going to be an amazing year, but I'm going to have to rethink my exercise program.
I hope you've got your word for the year too, because I know our previous guest will be checking on you. Raylyn. She'll be
Yes.
checking on you to make sure you've got your word intact.
Listen, she doesn't just check in.
Okay.
She wears you down.
Okay, well,
That's maybe just because I'm a close friend that she figures to badger me will make me come out.
Well, I am trying to be that good friend to warn you in advance.
Okay, and I appreciate that.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Hope your word is intact. Now, I do have a curious question for
Oh,
today.
good.
Are you
What
ready?
is our
Are you ready?
curious question?
And I don't know. I guess it's about our husbands today. What do bald men put on their driver license application for hair color? And this question's coming up
Beige.
because he got a renewal thing in the mail to redo his license this year.
Yeah.
And he said, I asked him this question and he said, my current license says brown, but that's not really accurate, is it? And I said, no, it's not. But it was funny because one day our grandson, Kingston, walked in and he says, hey, Poppy, how did you get clear hair?
Oh, good. Well, at least now we have an answer
to
the curious question, because most of the time we don't have an answer.
This is true. But maybe he could put clear.
He could put clear.
Yeah. I wonder what they do.
I don't know. That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Bald. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you put?
Yeah,
None.
that was a very good. That was a very good, curious question. That's a great kickoff for season 2.
It is?
Yes, that's a good kickoff question. That's great.
All right.
I'm loving it.
For all the bald men that listen to us.
Oh, I'm sure there's hundreds.
Hundreds. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, my friend. So let's tell everybody about what the plan is, kind of recap on our identity class and what they can expect to hear us talk about and cover.
Yeah. So we're going to have a 4-week series coming up starting at the end of January 27th.
Right.
Through February something or other. What is it? The 17th. February 17th. It's Mondays from January 27th through February 17th.
Yes.
And we'll recap some of what we talked about with identity. And I think one of the pieces that there's still a lot of richness around the piece about those identity thieves.
Yes.
So many times those roles that we take on or those false identities that we gravitate toward really rob us from who the Creator intended for us to be. So I think we'll probably lean into that just a little bit, but we've got some additional topics that we want to cover during our class.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we do. And there's so much space there, but we're going to start with forgiveness. And some people may just be rolling their eyes thinking, oh, great, we got to talk about forgiveness again. But it's foundational, and to really grow in your identity and really blossom, it's something that needs to be looked at.
And forgiveness, it was something I used to tell my kids that when you have unforgiveness, you're holding yourself hostage. You're creating a prison of your own making.
Yes.
And holding yourself back. It's not impacting the person you haven't forgiven. They don't even know. But it's taking your time and your energy to hold on to that grudge. And I once heard it related to this tiny little, cute little thing that was a grudge until all of a sudden he was the size of a polar bear and hanging on to you.
Yes.
And smothering you. And that's really what happens with unforgiveness. It's a little seed.
Right.
And that when that seed gets bitter, it gets harder and harder to get that seed out.
Yes. And that leads right into the other subjects that we're going to talk about too. We're going to talk hard about anger. And it's not a lot of people won't really talk about anger. They'll say, oh, she's angry, or he's angry, or they have anger issues, but there's not a lot of conversation around anger. And so that's why we felt that it was real important for us to talk about. And
I would like you to avoid the topic of driving in the San Antonio freeways when we get to anger, though.
Okay. Well, we have passes, right? We have passes.
Yeah, no.
It's like in that other episode. We're sorry, baby Jesus. We're really sorry. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay,
we'll talk
anger.
about that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna visit about some guilt and shame.
Mm.
So these are hard subjects,
Mm-hmm.
but they're subjects that people don't talk about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna wrap some conversations around those subjects, and I think there's a lot of good conversations to come.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we talked about how all of this is based on love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
And these are those things that get in the way
Hmm.
of that being a reality in your life. And
Yeah.
so when we can connect more fully, we connect more fully with God when we embrace forgiveness,
Yes.
when we let go of our guilt and shame, and yet it's still those things that hold us back when we recognize our anger and deal with it rather than stuffing it down and letting it explode like a volcano.
Right.
Um,
And a lot of what we hope to glean from the class and from the podcast are how-tos.
Specific how-tos.
Specific how-tos.
Yeah.
Like reality.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she was telling me how she goes to her happy place in her mind to reduce her stress. And I said to her, have you asked Jesus there? And she was kind of taken back. And I was like, yeah, we need to make sure Jesus is there with us. So it's little things like that
Yes.
that can have a big impact when you're working through some of these things. So we're just hoping to be able to encourage everybody and hit some of these topics that not everybody wants to talk about. I mean,
Yeah.
we have fun, but there's some serious things that God wants us to deal with. So
Absolutely. And we're also dealing with them. It's not that we've arrived.
this is true. We're still driving around San Antonio. Yes, this is true.
And
This
with
is true.
that,
Yes.
with that little note,
Yeah.
we do want to invite you to sign up for the class.
Absolutely.
Yeah, register
And
for the class.
yes, and there will be a link in our show notes. And if for some reason something's not working, please, in the show notes, our contact information is there. Reach out directly, and we'll make sure to get you all the information you need.
Absolutely.
So
Can't wait.
How about this? I think you and I should go to lunch to just celebrate season 2.
Absolutely. The Happy New Year lunch.
Happy New Year lunch. I'm loving it since I'm not going to work it off.
All right.
Yes. Thank you. Here we go.